All right, guys, our next game, the Rams offense rolls against Detroit in a huge win. When they got humming, they were off to the races here. As you see Puka Nacua with the monster day. Good call, Matthew, on Colby Parkinson. He's been awesome. They've been playing a ton of 13 personnel, so their tight ends live on the field. Kyren Williams and Matthew Stafford solid. But the story coming out of this one, guys, is the status of Davante Adams. And we got to hear a somewhat pessimistic Sean McVay on this injury after the game.
You know, he was optimistic talking to him. He knows his body really well. They had an East and West double. He split it and then, just kind of came up where he felt it. So we'll see what that means. I can't imagine that's good for Thursday with just the short amount of time, but I certainly wouldn't rule him out quite yet, but it didn't look good.
I love that McVay doesn't breathe.
Look good.
He just talks.
It's great. He's got some Jameis Winston equity in him. Sean McVay in a
great
good way.
listen.
Yeah.
I will tell you this, too. So I've met Sean McVay a handful of times, because I knew him when he was the tight ends coach of the Commanders. They weren't even called the Commanders back then.
All-time coaching staff.
All-time coaching staff. But anyway, so I had one night when he was, again, this is when he was the tight end coach of Washington, and no one cared about him. But I did, because I'm a crazy Washington fan. We had drinks one night at the Combine. He's awesome.
Yeah.
He's like what you see on TV. Like,
right.
That's him. That's not an act. That's not like something he puts on for the cameras. Like, that's him 24/7. That's exactly like that. Like, he is like that. He's always been like that. And so, and he's done an unbelievable job this year. I don't think he's going to win Coach of the Year, Jay, but you can make a strong argument that he should.
Yeah, absolutely. He's one-time Coach of the Year. I think he won in 2017, back his first year coaching the Rams, when he took them to the playoffs. But yeah, McVay's done an incredible job. The offense is just absolutely humming, and it's going to face its biggest test yet on Thursday against the Seahawks on the road. They didn't look great on offense the first time they played Seattle, and likely no Davante Adams. I'm not sure if there's really much of an action, though, in terms of who you want, because it's just Puka Nacua is going to have like a 45% target.
That's right. I mean, they'll mix in some other guys here, but there's no one that you're going to feel good about starting in a playoff semifinal. I do think, to your point about the 13 personnel, again, and Tyler Higbee's been banged up. So Colby Parkinson's somebody they have looked to quite a bit, so we'll talk about him more tomorrow. I do think Colby Parkinson, especially if Higbee remains out on Thursday, is really interesting against the Seahawks. The only thing I want to talk about here, and I agree with you, there's not really a takeaway, because you're still starting Kyren Williams, and it's great. But just I think the touchdowns mask the fact that he's still not playing a ton. He over the last 2 weeks, he's playing just 53% of the snaps. I mean, Blake Corum's out there more than you would expect. Again,
and effective.
Looks good.
And looks good.
Yeah.
Like, Corum got into the end zone as well. It was nice that Kyren got the 2 touchdowns, but again, and you're still starting Kyren. There's not a takeaway here, but it's just sort of lowering expectations for them. It's shocking to me on the other side of the ball, in a game in which, 75 total points or whatever it was scored, that Jahmyr Gibbs had single-digit fantasy points. It's gonna. I'm in the final 3 of a guillotine league, and I'm dead unless Devon Achane has a 40 burger in him tonight.
Right.
We're down to it's 3 super teams in this, and so the fact that I got a 10 or 9.6 from Jahmyr Gibbs just destroyed me in that league.
I think the sneaky thing with Gibbs, Connor, is that so he has the massive game against the Giants where he has the long overtime touchdown. Since they've kind of given the keys more to him in the running game, he hasn't been that efficient on the ground because the interior of the offensive line is not that good. He couldn't really get much going on the ground against the Packers, against the Cowboys. He was inefficient outside of the touchdowns, and then yesterday, same story.
Yeah, it's absolutely the case. It was all about the wide receivers, which we'll get to in a second. But Jonathan Medici says, Barry, which night was better, drinks with McVay or a romantic Italian dinner with Croucher? Who holds their 6 beers better?
It's a great question, and they both hold a special place in my heart for different reasons. You know what I mean? I'm going to say the romantic Italian dinner with Croucher was better. I'll just tell you why. Because it's the continuation. Right. There's a special relationship.
Haven't heard from Sean McVay since.
Right, that's exactly right. It was one night. It was, McVay and I had one night, but you and I had one night in Buffalo, and that sparked a
everlasting relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe spoiling.
A franchise of dinners.
Yes, exactly. A Brokeback fantasy of Jay and I. That's something that continues to this day. My wife continues to get jealous of it, but it's an unspoken love and one that continues to burn bright.
A forbidden love.
A forbidden love, exactly. Jake holds his beers pretty well, I will say. I don't think I've ever seen you drunk. I've been out drinking with you a handful of nights.
That's a lie.
I don't know that I've ever.
He holds it really well.
Where
Where you don't go, Jay's drunk. He just Jay's been drinking the same as the rest of us. He's just fine.
Yeah, he pulls it together pretty well. The one night in the combine where you somehow managed to scrounge up little bottles of wine at 2:30 from room service.
Yeah, that was good.
Next day, you've had better moments. But
I struggled. Yeah.
you power through, to your credit.
Yeah, I power through. Yeah, I always show up. Like, Keanu Reeves in hardball. The most important thing is showing up. I always show up.
There you go. I'm wearing 14 to represent Amon-Ra St. Brown, who had the most points by a wide receiver in a game this entire season. He now has 2 of the top 3 games by a wide receiver in 2025. He has a 48% target share in this game. 18 targets, tied for the 3rd most by in a game this season. It's just, there's no takeaway other than that if you faced Kyle Pitts on Thursday night or Trevor Lawrence, we'll get to him in a second, and you're just like, oh man, I'm dead in the water. And then boom, here comes Amon-Ra St. Brown to save you in the afternoon window. 14, we love you. Former ride or die, always a ride or die. Valiant Vincent 13 writes, no, Barry, after what you did to Stafford, how dare you wear that? Stop it. Stafford was good yesterday.
Yeah, after you spilled diet soda on him and triggered a loss to the Carolina Panthers.
This is fair, but he was like, even though they had 3 rushing touchdowns, he still was a top 11 quarterback heading into Monday Night Football. Matthew Stafford. No, stop it.
So the MVP
Amon-Ra St. Brown. Don't worry. I've got
spill proof.
Yeah, spill proof here.
Yeah, I think though the Amon-Ra's game notwithstanding, the real takeaway is Jameson Williams, just wide receiver 1.
Right,
Material.
because the targets are consistently there.
Yeah.
The whole story with Jameson Williams for how many weeks was, oh, cool, a goose egg or 1 target or 2 targets, and now it's just consistently 7-catch performance. He's the primary read often, Matthew. Obviously, since Dan Campbell has taken over plays, there's been an emphasis on Jameson Williams.
It's crazy for a guy that, like, a lot of people, and we were at some point, like, yeah, I mean, you can't trust this guy.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, this is somebody that we saw dropped in fantasy leagues. Since week 9, he's been the 7th best wide receiver in fantasy football. Over the last 3 weeks, he's got a 30% target share, Connor. To your point, like, he's often the first read, and because their defense is so struggling, you know what I mean? They're continuing to they're having to get into this game script and throwing. It is weird in a game that, again, 45 points are scored and they're just throwing as much as they are, where Jared Goff throws the ball over 40 times, that Jahmyr Gibbs can't do anything. But Jameson and Amon-Ra, they don't really have a tight end. And, Isaac Tesla has not really, you know what I mean? So the passing game is really fairly narrow, too.
Yeah, 75 points scored in the game, but the highlight very clearly, Aiden Hutchinson on the interception, looking over both of his shoulders, basically like I would if I was trying to run back a feet. He got some legs on him too, Aiden Hutchinson, for a defensive end, but just kind of ran out of gas at the end.
Yeah, exactly. They're home to Pittsburgh next week and then at Minnesota. So 2 home games, or 2 dome games, I should say, for Jared Goff. So we expect the Lions to keep rolling.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest RotoWorld fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.